Hello YouTube! Okay, so it's been a really long time since I made a video, and it's really late here and I'm not tired, so I figured why not. Speaking of here, I'm in California now. Officially, for good. I don't know how much I talked about this before. I know I made one video when I was staying with my dad. He was in an apartment and it was like kind of temporary, but now the whole family has moved here. We're renting a house. This is my new room. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I really like it so far. I'm not working or doing school at the moment. I'm still kind of trying to figure out what I want to do exactly. But yeah, that's just a whole different business. Really why I wanted to make this video is because I got my industrial pierced recently. And that was kind of a crazy smile. Yeah, I always like to make videos about my piercings, not just to like show them off. I mean, that's kind of part of it, but I like to make these videos so that people who are interested in getting the same piercing that I did can kind of get someone's experience and not just the basic scientific information about it. So yeah, basically I got this done, let's see, a little over a week ago, like coming up on 2 weeks ago, I think. Right now it is still sore. That's something that you need to know big time about industrial piercings, is that they hurt, and not so much when you're getting it, but very much so afterward and for a very long time. I'm not used to that. I've never had that happen with a piercing. It's very different from anything I've had. I've had stuff swell up, I've had stuff be sore and tender for a while, but this has been going on for like 2 weeks almost, and it really, it's like just starting to get a little better, but it's definitely like, you know, like it's not, I try not to move it too much at all. Like I don't like to touch it except like when I'm having to clean it or whatever. But you know, I wear glasses sometimes. I put my hair behind my ear a lot, especially on that side. You know, there's a lot of things that you do that you don't even really think about that brush up against that area. So by touching it, kind of moving it, right now it doesn't hurt that bad. That was like excruciating to do the first few days. Also, sleeping on it sucks. The guys, when I got it pierced, the guy that pierced it and also the other guy that was working there both recommended that I get a airplane pillow, or like, you know, the ones that are like a neck pillow or whatever you want to call it, the ones that are shaped like a little horseshoe and usually put it around your neck. But they recommended that to have to sleep on my side because it has a little hole in it. You can put your ear in it, and that way it doesn't touch your bed and it's not being like mushed up against your pillow or anything uncomfortable. I didn't have that kind of pillow, and I thought, you know, no big deal, that's not the end of the world, I'll just try not to sleep on that side. That didn't work out. I very much toss and turn when I'm sleeping. I definitely switch sides and sleep on my stomach and sleep on my back and flop back and forth a lot. So when I would wake up, it would be crazy sore. A few times it had blood crusted around in my ear, which, I mean, I guess that's kind of normal. It's not like the end of the world, but for me that was really freaky, and I'd never had that happen before, so I was like, okay, I need to fix that issue. So I didn't really know where to find such a pillow except to like order one, so I didn't really want to do that. I ran across the Total Pillow. It's at CVS. I don't know, it might be at Walgreens or other drugstores. It was in the section of as seen on TV stuff because that is like an infomercial product. Um, I had seen a commercial for it before. I didn't ever think I would need such a thing, but it's actually been really nice to have. And I could even see myself using it in the future. It's very comfy. I think, yeah, I have it on my bed, so I'll show you. I'm pantsless right now, so just ignore that. Just pretend you didn't see that. This is it. It's kind of shaped like a flower a little bit. It's very bendy. Like, if you bend it into a position, it will stay in that position. Like, it's very weird. I don't exactly know what it's made of that makes it do that, because it just kind of feels like a one of those pillows that's full of like little sand stuff. So I don't know. But one side is kind of a slick, shiny material, and the other side, the side I like to sleep on, is kind of suede. So it's soft. But yeah, that's been a lifesaver. I would definitely recommend getting that, or if not this, like, you know, one of the other kind of more normal neck pillows. Yeah, I didn't think that would be a big deal, but it definitely is. If you're someone that cannot control what position you sleep in, yeah, that's important to have. I really thought I would be able to tough it out. But it's surprisingly painful. Like I was saying, I have never experienced that before. I've had quite a few piercings. I don't know exactly how many. I guess I could count it. I think, let's see, septum, nostril, vertical labret, Monroe, or not a Monroe, Medusa. What else? 2 piercings on each ear, so I guess 8 total. And all of them are very different, and all of them have hurt in different ways, but none of them have hurt this badly afterward. Like, the healing process is intense. They told me that it would be. The guys were like, this, you know, this is going to be sore for like a really long time. You're going to have to really be careful not to touch it or play with it or anything. Yeah, they told me to be really sensitive. I'd heard that it was a pretty sensitive piercing, that most cartilage piercings are. But I thought, like, oh well, I've had my nostril done, that's cartilage, but it's very different cartilage. It's very different. I can't stress that enough. This is just a whole different kind of painful. Getting it done, I'll talk about that. Getting it done was not terrible. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I was freaked out because I'd never had like that kind of cartilage piercing. I'd have my nose done, but that's a lot like squishier, and this stuff is kind of different. So I wasn't sure how that would go. But honestly, it wasn't that bad. The initial needle going through the skin was actually probably the easiest part of it. That didn't really hurt that bad. It made kind of like a little gross popping, crunching sound. If that freaks you out, I wouldn't recommend this piercing. But that wasn't terrible. It really wasn't. The going in after, the sliding this like really fairly large gauge needle in and then through the ear again, that part wasn't fun. It's like getting 2 piercings in one. It really is. You got 1 hole, 2 holes, and yeah, they have to be connected, so that's a very weird kind of process, and yeah, it definitely hurts. But overall, getting it done was not like excruciating. I was kind of like, ouch, okay, I want that to be over. But then it was over and I was like, okay, fine. But then almost immediately my ear got very angry at me. It was bright red for like that whole day, probably most of the next day or day after that. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention after. But yeah, it was bright red. It was like it's hot, it was like I'd had a sunburn. It was just like radiating heat and it was very mad at me. Um, that was probably the worst part. Immediately after that night, sleeping on it was not fun. And just kind of getting used to having it there. Like when you undress, I can't tell you how many times I have pulled my shirt over my head and tugged on it. That sucks. Sometimes I'll just be like, laying on the couch and I kind of go to lay my head down and I'm like, oh, that doesn't feel good. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of like annoying things about this piercing. It is very sensitive. It's a whiny baby of a piercing. It requires a lot of care and a lot of, not touching it, not bothering it, and that kind of thing. I love it. I have to say, I do. It's totally worth it. I It was kind of a whim. I was like, I think I want like another ear piercing, maybe a cartilage piercing, I don't know. Like literally last minute, like on the drive to the piercing place, I still wasn't sure what I wanted, and I was just like, you know what, I think I'm gonna get an industrial. I think that sounds cool, and I think it would look good on my ear. I did it, and I love it. I mean, as soon as I saw it, I was just like, oh my god, that's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's easily one of my favorite piercings, but it's something that you definitely have to want it. It's kind of like that's a face only a mother could love. It's like that's a piercing that only someone who really wants it could like. Like you have to be pretty dedicated to it. And let me say this. If you do not have a high pain tolerance, or if you're someone that is easily bothered by pain, gets on your nerves and, you don't like it or whatever. I mean, no one likes it, but if you're someone who's like really sensitive about it and you can't handle something being like really, really sore, then yeah, don't do it. It's not fun and it goes on for a very long time. If you're wanting something that just like heals up magically after like a few days, get something different. This is what I would call like a hardcore piercing. You definitely have to be ready for it and willing. I have a pretty high pain tolerance. I really do. I'm not just one of those people that says that. Like, I get injured a lot, and it doesn't really usually bother me, but this little thing I didn't think would be a big deal, and it totally sucks. Honestly, I would rather have my full back, like neck to butt, tattooed, like every inch of it, than get that again. Honestly, like, I wish I was exaggerating. And again, it's not the initial piercing that hurts that bad. It's afterward. It's like, it's so irritating. It's so constant. I mean, honestly, I had moments of doubt. I was like, why did I get this? It's awful. Like, I wanted to take it out. Like, I've never had that feeling. I've never wanted to just take something out immediately after getting it pierced, but I was like, ow, like, this sucks. So, yeah, I mean, getting it done, that's one thing, but afterward, if you are not someone that can handle pain or appreciate the reason for the pain, then I wouldn't get this. That being said, aside from just not like touching it, not bumping into it, it's really not like that hard to take care of. You just have to put up with it being annoyingly tender and sore. Other than that, just clean the little crusty stuff off and do sea salt, saltwater soaks, and things like that. Showers are your friend. I was kind of worried about showering, honestly. I was like, I wonder if that's gonna like hurt, because it already hurts really badly. But actually, it feels really good. Like when it gets irritated, I get in the shower and I just let the jets just spray it and clean it out, and the hot water is just, it feels really good. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Showers are a good way to keep it clean without touching it, and it feels good. Kind of alleviates some of the pain. Ice is something I would recommend the first few days. Advil. That's another thing. I am not someone who takes pain medicine for piercings. I never thought I would have to do that. I was like, oh my god, it's just a piercing. Like, how bad can it be? Because they were saying, like, if you take something, take this or that or whatever. And I was just like, psh, whatever. And I couldn't take it anymore. Like, after a few days, I was just like, oh my god. Like, I'm not gonna be able to sleep if I don't take something. It's like having a really bad headache, only just in your ear. That's the only way I can describe it. It's not like a sharp pain, it's just like, ow. Like, it's just kind of this pulsing, like, headache kind of sensation, and it's very bothersome. Like I said, I usually don't take pain medicine, but I had to take some Advil because I was dying. Never thought in my life that I would have to take something for a piercing, but it was seriously painful. But yeah, so that's something. Ice, Advil, showers feel good. Neck pillow things are good to sleep on. I'm trying to think of other special information. Don't spin it. Don't slide it back and forth. It's really tempting because every time I get a new piercing, I like to know how it feels to like move it around. Don't do that. It irritates it, of course. Everything does. So yeah, don't do that. Don't try to change it or do anything to it for a long time. I'm not. I'm like, I'm just leaving it alone. It's like a ferocious animal, I'm just gonna play dead and not do anything, not move, not touch it, and maybe it won't bother me. No, but yeah, just don't do anything with it. Don't try to put in different jewelry. Don't try to swim. Really don't push it, because yeah, this is not a piercing I would want to get infected or to have anything bad happen to it, because it already hurts. I don't want it to hurt any more than that. Just to tell you a little bit about my jewelry, it's a 14 gauge bar. I assume that's the normal size that most piercers use. That's definitely a different sensation, because I've only been pierced like 16 and 18, so 14 was weird, especially going through the cartilage. It's like, it's such a big piece of jewelry. It's very weird. But anyway, so yeah, 14 gauge bar. They pierce you with a longer one, obviously, to accommodate swelling. You can see right now, my ear is still swollen. Like, it's taking up the whole bar. Like, there's like only like a tiny little bit of extra room down there. So yeah, you'll have a longer bar, but that's okay. You want that because it will swell a lot. I was given the option of having cute little fancy balls on the end. They're blue opal. I don't know if you can really tell. I think they probably just look blue, but they're actually really cute. They're kind of sparkly and translucent and stuff. I love that. That's another thing. As soon as I saw that on my ear, I was like, oh my god, it's so pretty. If it wasn't so darn cute, I would probably be pissed. I would be upset. But it's worth it because it's just I love it. But yeah, that's basically all the information I think I have about it. I guess I'll do like an update video when it's fully healed, which will be a while from now, and just tell you like how long it took for that to happen. Just every day of my life, I'm like, can it please be healed now? Um, but yeah, so that's all the information about that. This has been a really long video. I can't talk because I'm so tired. I'm slowly becoming sleep deprived. But yeah, so I think that covers everything. If you have any questions, let me know. Yeah, I think I went over everything. But anyway, yeah. So hopefully I'll make another video soon, just kind of talking about my life now that I've moved and stuff. But yeah, for now, so long, farewell, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below.